What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Everybody can hear me. Let me see. Hey,
Hey,
what's wrong? Allergies bother you?
no, just a little chilly.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
I'm good.
Good. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I didn't know. Hey, everybody on here. Everybody's getting on this today. Thank you for getting on. Uh, man. So I was looking at, I always get these certain questions. So today, everybody, my question, is um, starting a trucking business is a good thing. I think that's what it is. Isn't that what it is, right?
What? I don't know.
I think, yeah. So I was asked how, um, you know, just starting a trucking business.
Is it a
It's,
good idea for right
yeah.
now? What in
And
the
so
current
current
climate?
climate, it's the questions that I
Mm.
was asked. And so I posted that. And so, I did go back and do my homework about, the about what was going on, pre-COVID. How you doing, man? Norwood, how you doing? All right. Thank you for following us, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, and so anyway, so I was on. I don't know if I was telling you the other day I was on. I'm sorry. Is starting is a trucking a good business? Trucking investment in trucking is a good business. So anyway, Um, I saw a young lady, she was talking about transportation and she was saying that she wants to buy a truck and she said she had, a few months in and she said because she was trying to do teams and they was offering her 26 cent a mile, something like that, and between, the two. So pretty much 52 cent a mile was going to be split between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so she was saying that she was kind of bent on wanting to buy her own truck. Then she was saying that she don't know, and so just listening to her, I could tell she's only been in it. She hasn't been in it a full 2 years yet. But she just was saying that it's kind of tough. And so I went in. So as I was saying about it's it's starting a trucking company, a good business. Uh, he said she failing on the contract. She's good. Okay. So, so anyway, so with that, she went, oh, she got paid her dues. Okay, all right, sounds good, man. She do got to pay her dues, man. You're right about that, man. I think that's the biggest thing, paying their dues. So anyway, I went back and I started looking at the, what pre-COVID was, what the rates were in 2019, and also what the diesel cost was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So back then in 2019, just to try to get my numbers down. Oh yeah, you're right, man. Just to get my numbers down, I wanted to know because I told everybody it's going back to pre-COVID numbers. But it's the good thing about it hasn't went all the way as low as pre-COVID numbers. Because the numbers were like $1.65 then, and and um and so at $1.65, that was 2019, 2018, things like that. And plus diesel is higher. I get that. You're right. 455 for diesel. So so you and so anyway, yeah, diesel is up. Diesel's like 388 to $4 in certain places is higher. So the
Yeah.
the thing is that the only advice I can give someone to starting a trucking business is just try to do diligent, do your homework. But the market, the diesel cost back then was $3.07. So in 2019, the average rate right now is pretty much $2, and on van is $2.10. So let me say that. $1.65 for a van, which is the dry van, and in 2019. In 2023, the average is $2.10. So we're looking at about what, right at about 45 cents difference. So if my math is right, I think that's right. Um, and so yeah, $1.65, correct. And so anyway, with that said, if I go back and think about the 45-cent difference, and that's pretty much that's the difference between pre-COVID numbers and today's numbers as far
Mm-hmm.
as the rates. You know what I'm saying? Just the average across the board, because you have to go. Yep. You're right. You're right, Funk. The brokers are getting they're definitely getting their share. It's more, and it's the sad thing about it. It's starting to be a lot more costly, but at the same time, if we made it then, I know they can do it now. But like you said, some people have to put in the time, and then things they do get that breakthrough. Try to do a lot more pairing up with small businesses. Need to try to pair up a little. Small trucking company to pair up a little bit more to try to go after bigger contracts. No matter what truck, as far as partnering, as far as MC number.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a lot more of that now, because you can go after the big contracts, because contracts like UPS and all those, they can't handle that freight that YRC is about to dump in the market. Um, but so anyway, what I was saying is that so um, yeah, well, the supply is high, but the demand is low. The problem is you got a lot more tractors out there, so a lot more tractors are gonna have to fall down in order for that to to um, adjust itself, because that's why you could get freight moved for a little bit. So because at the time in 2019, I don't think they had as many tractors in the market as it is today. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And so you got more tractors in the market. It doesn't, and so that's eating the cost. And then, but at the same time, I just try to look at the numbers for the fact is, there's a difference between 45 cent um, and that's why I said, and then look at the price of diesel in 2023. Uh, oh, okay. So I appreciate that, man. So in 2023, the diesel is 210. I'm sorry, the going rate is 210, and the diesel is 388.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about, that diesel is, 88 cent higher than what it was in 20. Um, yeah, you're definitely talking about driver shortages. And so anyway, so yeah, so with that, I mean, it just makes it so, when all in all, when someone's asking me, is getting into the trucking business a good business? Um, Me personally, I know some will probably agree and some will probably disagree. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it. The difference is I would just make sure I would just encourage someone to try to see if they can, if they have a home, they can get the equity out of their home, purchase their vehicle, purchase their truck. Start out trying to be an owner operator first. Work, yeah, you're gonna have to work up under somebody authority, get out there and run and make back your money, and then try to go after your authority. Try to link, and along the way, network. Try to link with other small trucking companies that will not mind you running up under their authority to learn. Um, that's the key to this. You got to learn. And like my man Funky said a few minutes ago, is that you know I'm right about trying to you're gonna have to come together. Um, and, and then at the same time, if you are an owner operator, you have to be able to be a business minded person when you're running your trucking business. If you're up under somebody else's authority, because if you're up under somebody else's authority, you just got to make sure that you run that authority as if it was yours. So that's the part about learning.
Mm-hmm.
So my answer is yes. I still think trucking is a successful. You can run a successful trucking business,
You
and I know,
gotta
and
have
you gotta have what?
a plan.
Yeah, because if you don't have a plan, then plan to fail.
Yeah, and also too, if you don't understand the fuel rates and have a plan as to, okay, right now the brokers don't want to pay you what you want to get paid.
Mhm.
Fuel is high, so you got to have a plan to at least to make the amount of income that you need to make, right? So right now, if you're starting a trucking company and you just hitting the road running, then you can't depend. You can't be home every night.
No,
You can't be home
no.
every night. So you gotta, just plan to be out there on the road and until you reach the goals that you try to reach the goals that you have in mind. But and then you can't be out here getting upset either. You know, you still got to work because this is your livelihood. And we understand that the economy is in a certain place, which is a trickle down effect. So COVID threw everything into a world spin. So now you're trying to get back into a rhythm of making the amount of money that you're used to making, but it's kind of hard to do with the current rates of that's being on these boards.
That's true, but I will say that if I had to start all over again, I would probably do flatbed.
Flatbed?
Yeah, I would try to do flatbed with not a lot of tarping though. Try to get with it because flatbed rate has been consistent. Their flatbed rates is right at the range of 2049 to 269, and when you go back into post COVID, those flatbed rates was kind of still around the same.
Okay, so flatbed rates right now are still consistent.
They've
They've
yeah
stayed
they've
kind of
yeah,
consistent,
but
not that much
but
fluctuation.
yeah, but of course the flatbed has you know it has a little bit more work to it. But the loads are a little bit more, it's consistent.
Hmm.
You can kind of, and like my man Funky said, he was saying, you know, yeah, that's what I said, no tarping. Yeah. Oh, you said, oh, no tarping, getting an RG and selling my reefer. Okay, wow. Um, um, so. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, get in it, then I would just say like what I try to do on here, try to, give support, give, guidance, because I don't want to see anybody
Right.
fail.
Right.
You really with technology today, excuse me, people like myself doing lives, people social media. And I'm not saying you got to do social media in a way that, but just be careful with the social media because there are people that will get you going in a direction that, can, have you jammed up. Me, I just tell everybody, hey, hope you hear my live, come on here or tell somebody about it. How,
Hmm.
we do it every Tuesday, Transportation Tuesday. I get on here and try to talk about going topics
Was
because
real.
I get asked that question, and I know a couple of people that's probably on here with me that drive for a living that get asked that question, and I don't want to tell you not to do it because
Yeah.
that's the case. Then somebody would told me that, um, you know, 27 years ago, well, really 19 years ago,
Hmm.
as far as being my, starting up my own.
Hmm.
And, I probably wouldn't have did it in that climate either because we were making less than that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and guess what? It's still the same damn truck, excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Just you adding more birds and whistles to it. But,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Because the truck I started with is still sitting out there.
Right. Right.
So, but at the end of the day, um, oh yeah, it's a lot of that. Definitely that. Yeah, it's a lot of that. And that's but,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, um, you know, we knew some of this was coming. Let me just say
Hmm.
that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So we knew some of this was coming. That's why it's important to ask questions when it's time to vote. You ask questions. See if the person that you're voting for, see if they know, anything about the industry you're trying to go into,
Mm-hmm.
and see that'll tell you, what they mean to a small business. My senator, both of them, you know, they did a lot for small businesses. So now my congressman, he does the same thing. The difference is that, I just think that, you have to be, mindful of um, just, going to the ballot. I would encourage that. I'm not telling who to vote for. It ain't none of my business. All I'm just giving you advice to say, okay, if I'm gonna get into a small business, because any small business today,
Mm-hmm.
banks are real reluctant to lend. But if you're trying to buy a semi, I would definitely say, uh, try to, uh, well, I try not to get into that, man. I try to get into the fact is that, you know, I've been out here let me just put it like this, not to change the subject. Uh, I've been through 5 presidents. Um, Bush Senior, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Um, Bill Clinton, um, Bush 2, Bush Jr., um, Obama, Trump, and Biden. So I've been through 5 presidents. So for me, it still boils down to your congressmen and your senators, your state representatives.
Yeah, the local government.
Yeah, it's your local. Because I will say, I'm not giving him no shout out on my live, but I seen some. I told everybody that it would be hard to beat our governor in Georgia. That was a task impossible because Georgia had one of the top economies, and I sat here and seen these numbers at a convention I went to, and it was there. And so um, anyway, with that, it was just that's why I knew it was gonna be hard to beat him. And so that's why I still say that if you live around the Savannah area, around the ports, you can make a lot of money pulling the boxes out of the ports.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we went to the convention and we saw that, and
Mm-hmm.
it just depends on where you at. If I'm living in a more rural area, then I probably do flatbed or pup wooding. So it just depends on what area you're in because you never really see them give statistics about pup wooding. Doing the pup. Uh, um, yeah, I understand. You're right, man. But the problem is, if you shut down, that's one thing that's not going to be, happening. I'm gonna tell you why, because we're too deregulated. So that's going to be hard to do, because most of the guys that, it'd be hard to shut down because they're not just because there's no one person to talk to about it, and that's why I said but I commend you for it. That's something, y'all would like to do. I know Fort Porter drivers that are pulling one long week more than some. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but what I say, depending on where they live, man. If they live a bit not by the ports, it's a little bit easier. Only because if they live by the ports. I'm just saying the ports. I just know that it's easier to get the freight out of the ports, and versus me trying to come from Atlanta. Uh, yeah, and me trying to come from Atlanta to Savannah and pick up a load coming back because everybody wants to only pay one way. So I mean, so it's just really, to be honest with you, trying to find that, coming in. Just I would encourage everybody to link up with someone that, like myself, been in the game for a while, try to give you some pointers, start you on the right, consult with people, consult with someone, um, and take it step by step,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be successful.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing is just like you said earlier. You said um, you being home every day is just not going to happen if
Mm-hmm.
you're just starting out. And you don't have to. Nobody tells you got to run to California. That's
Right.
not what.
Right.
That's
That's
where
not what I'm saying.
that's where that consultation comes in at.
Right.
That's where that
Yeah.
consultation, because and then you don't have to have a van. You can do, you can do, you know, where you link with a few companies and and just try to find, because there are companies out here that will give you the miles, and once you get the miles, you stack your money.
Yeah.
It's like I told somebody the other day. You can do power only. JB Hunt has power only.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of power only. It's unemployed, but only a small number of minorities have equipment to pull it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the majority of the type is equipment. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. But that's
definitely, that's true.
but that's what I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
though, Funky. What I mean is the fact is that when I say getting the proper equipment,
Mm-hmm.
depending on where you live, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna buy a truck and I'm doing flatbed and it can barely pull, you know, right at 40 some thousand pounds. I mean 35,000 pounds, and stuff like that. Well, when I say, JB Hunt, as far as, as a company I was using as an example, none of them really paying a lot, but they're paying, the point I was getting at with the power only is that if you're going to get out here and you feel like, you know, you don't have a trailer and all these things, then I was using that as an example of power only, because I know they have a lot of power only container freight and things like that. So that's what I was meaning when I said that. But at the same time, the thing about it is it's just like,
So,
yeah,
well,
yeah. Well, that's what I said earlier about bidding on certain things, because a lot of the wire sea freight, people can't handle that freight. That freight's gonna be that's the third largest. That was the third largest trucker company in the United States. So their freight's going somewhere, and a lot of the customers are trying to shift to companies like Saya and AAA Cooper and ABF. But a lot of them, they're like, man, that's a lot of volume still. But the point is that those are things that I'm saying that someone as myself that can consult with you about getting into the business, that kind of knows, okay, hey, these are the kind of paths, but nothing saying that it's going to be one arrow of success. It's just going to be a few arrows in there that you're going to have to take, and pull the string on. And
you know what I think too? I think going to the conventions are important as well. I don't know. Um, I would be interested to see how many African Americans look out for these conventions and actually attend them. The ones that come through our inbox on a weekly or monthly, yearly basis. Because we
yeah,
get, and I'll be
we
interested to see.
well, when we went to the one in Savannah, that was if it was 35 of us in there.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It should have been way more.
And that was, and the same thing about um the same thing with the we went to the thing in Athens, probability in
Yeah.
Athens. It was I was the only one in there.
Yeah.
It was like 200 people. I mean 300 people in there. Well, 299 plus me.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, just that's what I'm saying. I
How you
mean,
stay up to date on what's coming down the pipeline.
yeah, exactly. Okay, I didn't know about
I
that
didn't
one. Convention in Tampa
know
now.
about that one either.
Okay.
It's for minorities in
It's a,
Tampa? All right, I'm gonna look that up.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, man. Yeah, definitely. That'll definitely be something we look into. I appreciate it, because that's why I was saying about the convention they had in the ports. Once they have it next year, I definitely you'll be on my live, and then also the one they have in Athens. I'll definitely get on my lives and let everybody know about it. Because at the end of the day, technology is here, and they give contracts out. We just got to learn to link them together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of
Well, Funky sent you a hint.
the ones that, oh yeah, the ones that come the ones that come in to, okay, okay, and so yeah, so you said 24, 25th, 26th. Okay, I'll look into it. So yeah, so what I'm saying is that when you think about it, I mean, I just tell anybody that, trying to get into it, just reach out to somebody like myself and like my man Funky Dog, Five Dog on here. You know what I'm saying? We here, we don't, we'll be give you as much advice as we can, and then if you decide to go consultation with us and places things like that, then that's a different thing. But before you invest, I mean, I would definitely tell anybody, you gotta plan. If not, you fail to plan, then plan to fail. I mean, it's as simple as that, and that's why I get on here and do the lives on Transportation Tuesday, and just try to get as many people to get it out there for me, and like I said, you can go to CLA CLA, Crawford Logistics and Associates.com. You can go to our website, Crawford Logistics and Associates.com. Right now, it's under
Construction.
construction, so it'll be up and running by next week,
It'll,
and we got some good stuff
Instagram.
coming. What's that?
I said they could reach out on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, right here on my live. We just, I just want everyone that's, got friends and family, just tell them, say, hey, the guy does it on Transportation Tuesday. He does it every Tuesday, and if you send him some feedback, he'll be able to get some of the questions. Like I said, the questions come through for me, and I'll go through it and ask. I say, okay, which makes sense and what don't make sense. I mean, I had one person ask me, said, "Is starting a trucking business profitable in the USA?" I only know how to start one in the USA. So, but those are questions I'm not going to be talking about. Like, I don't, that's like I said, I get questions all the time. And, and so, but I tend to just try to, when I see certain trends, I say, okay, because especially my heart goes out to the YRC situation last week. And I think, yeah, week before last, yeah. My heart goes out to those guys, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, um, I'm listening to their story about how much overhead they had, and actually I actually had to do a pickup at one of their locations, and all was well and quiet, but I just going there, it just felt kind of different because I knew some of those guys that worked out of that facility,
Mm-hmm.
and it just okay. I got you, man. I ain't know you. I ain't know. Okay, I got you, man. All right, we got to talk then. Okay. But so anyway, so yeah, so I didn't even know that. But anyway, so when I went there, and I just felt like it was just an eerie feeling. Um, um, yeah, that they did. It was, no, it was 700 and something million, not billion. It was million. Um, I think it was a million. Was it a billion? I don't know. I think it was 770 million. Because they gave up 30% of the company. So I'll double check on that one though. Um, but they had a lot of overhead, man. When because remember they bought Hollins, so they had a lot of things going on. But anyway, with all that said, that's why I'm saying, if you ask me today, what would I do first to try? Yeah, it was a million. So I would get with someone like myself or someone that's been in the business, somebody that's running a successful business, somebody that's ran a successful trucking business for a while, that kind of has the ins and outs, and they'll tell you, say, hey, this is in, this is out. I wouldn't try this. Just try to give you some advice. Nothing's going to be 100%, but it'll be worth the start. So yes, to the point of, we're starting a trucking business today. So anyway, so with that said, just want to go ahead and give that, just give that, give my opinion to a question that was brought up to me. And so, everything. Uh, oh wow, I didn't know that.
Damn.
Did you know? Yeah, I didn't know that. You're telling. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, man. So I appreciate all the info, man. But yeah, YRC, I think my hat goes out to those guys. But anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody that 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 started trucking. Starting a trucking company is a good business. I still think that, because really and truly, you still make good money. It's just what you do with the money and how you lay it out. You have to. I mean, I hate to say it, you have to really be on a budget. Yeah, exactly. yeah, operation costs. Yeah, exactly. That's what it means about when we talked about structuring and everything. That's why I said you have to consult with somebody, because if you get in this business just based off of things you hear and nobody can put any numbers behind it or any kind of, you know, you know, you know, what the structure, well, I guess say numbers behind it or give you some advice behind it and show you versus just talking to you about it, then I probably would, continue to look for some consultation. So, but anyway, babe, what you got going on though, man?
I'm getting ready for my 30% off sale for Labor Day weekend for our bar soaps. It's a restock sale, so we can start getting ready for fall and the holiday season that's coming up. So I'm doing a restock sale. We'll have 30% off on the website and 30% off at the sister shop in Atlantic Station. So be on the lookout for that announcement when it comes up.
Yeah, but so that's the thing, with that
Yeah,
sister station. We definitely want you to support
the
Crawford
sister shop.
Natural. I
Yeah,
mean, she's doing some amazing things. It's an amazing product, and I'm not just saying it because she's my wife. I'm saying it because she really, she put the time in making sure things are good, because she feels like, because when she started doing it, it was because of the family, and so, now that, she's really, moving in a direction where they're really loving her product, and so for us to be at the sister shop in
Atlantic.
Atlantic Station, they, so the thing about it is that, we just get on here and just, but you can definitely go down to the sister shop and, find the Crawford Naturals product in there, and and also share some love with the other ones at the sister shop. I think it's a great opportunity, to, to continue to, show some love for a business that is in the heart of the city of Atlanta. And if you not know, the prices of real estate in Atlanta is not cheap. So if you got some kind of business in Atlanta, and it's a blessing, because real estate, that market is high, and so the blessing that for, all right, be good, man. So anyway, well, babe, I just wanted to, do that. So I guess I'll let Carrie know the next topic of discussion. That we will be, talking about next week. But to everybody, man, I just want to say thank you. Get on the live with me.
Yeah, thank you all
Funky
for
Fuck,
joining.
yeah, 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 exactly. Because I appreciate it. Because this is what it's about. It's definitely it's what it's about. It's about getting on here and having a just dialogue about business in general, how we can support each other, and and then having a platform. That's why I say today the reason why I would start a business is because you have social media, you have outlets like this, Zoom, different things like that you can get on to try to network. It's definitely still opportunities. Don't let what you hear um, you know keep you from doing it. I go through that currently as I speak, and I think I've done pretty well in the business, but there's still other things I want to do. And but anyway, with all that said, another day above ground is a good day. I just want to tell everybody thank you. Babe, thank you for getting on here. And like I said, we'll talk to y'all next Tuesday. And I appreciate everybody. And we out, man. Peace.
Thank you.
All right.